Greatness. Greatness. Bow, bow, bow. Greatness.
Welcome to the
Let's go.
Podcast. Dr. Sanchez back in the building. On this
That's
podcast,
right. That's right.
how to renew your perspective, move towards uncertainty, and find what's awesome about that in every situation. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you can get notified with new content. If you're watching on Facebook, please share this video. Love this video as well. Maybe tag a couple people in the comments that want to be and fight like a ninja. And if you're listening on all platforms across podcast world, we love you. If you could leave us a review, tell us how much you love the podcast. That'll help us out a lot. We've been all over the place with our consistency. We went like 3-4 weeks in a row. Dad's been gone for 6 or 7 weeks on Tuesday nights. And so we're both back. So how you feeling, Dad?
I'm feeling amazing. Like back at India, he was saying, those days will play. Those who play will be champions. Champion, always a champion, baby. There should be right there. Mwah. Check it out.
And
Check it out.
there is the ring kiss.
Hey, can you check over my shoulder there? Yeah.
The buffalo, the deer,
Buffalo, the 2 times,
the American flag, the 2 times. We like we're getting a little studio in there. I mean, I'm liking it. Looking good.
Yeah. Got a new look.
Sweet. And I'll be moving into this room right here, hopefully by next podcast. So we should be good to go. Dad, you're lagging pretty bad on my end.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah. Tell Tave to hop off the Wi-Fi.
Tell him, bruh, you already gave them feet to go. Good here. Weather or something.
Yeah. We'll see if it levels out here in a sec.
All right. Okay.
But for let's see
me?
who's here. Yeah, I got you. Cameraman Nate.
Okay.
In the building.
Nate's killing.
We'll have to bring Nate on for a show. Tell you about the leaps of faith he's been taking.
Yes.
Dave is here.
What up, Big D? Love you, bro.
Yeah, you're lagging real bad.
Uh-oh.
Which we weren't lagging before the show started.
Huh.
I'm
not sure why.
Are you on just double check your Wi-Fi on your computer, make sure you're on the right one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Looks good.
Smiths are here. Choclon. Bridget. Sweet. So what we want to do, while Dad kind of figures that out, is tonight we're going to talk about this idea of how to fight like a ninja. It's a concept that Dad teaches in the clinic, and what that looks like to, as you see there on the bottom of the screen, walk through failure, not running from it. So in the midst of it, in hurt, pain, failure, what do you do? How do you fight like that? And some principles on how to fight and the idea of being a ninja, what that looks like, take some principles out of that. And then I'm going to, before we hop into that, do a quick recap where Dad's been, what he's been doing. Kind of, you see the new setup and some new equipment. Hello? He's really gonna, we'll switch to this. There we go. Sweet. So just on our end, we've been, as a family, we've been going through it. We've been going through it with some sickness. The girls had rotavirus and worked its way through the whole entire family. And so it's been a pretty difficult season for us. And then in the midst of that season, Dad had some coaching on Tuesday nights that he was going through an entrepreneur thing. And so it's been a whirlwind, but you see the new mics on both ends. Oh, we lost them. Hold on. Let me check. let's see what's happening. All right, so Dad's gonna move back down to the basement. So we're gonna rock the solo layout for now. Hold on, let me send a text. All right, so that's the new setup that you saw for for a brief moment before he lagged out. Is he got a new camera, a new setup, and we moved him upstairs to where we thought the Wi-Fi was going to continue to be able to hold him and have a strong signal. And we tested it, ran a bunch of different tests on that, but obviously not possible. So we'll kind of keep it going here until he gets back. But in the meantime, any comments, questions, or concerns as we move forward? I do have an idea and a concept I'll kind of run by in the meantime while he's coming back. But Nate says unreal. He needs a camera guy over there. Nate, where are you at? All right. Is he back? Thank you for sticking with some. Huh? You're still lagging.
Are we good?
Huh? No.
Everything's powerful.
So that didn't work there. Whoa. We're gonna kick him from the stream. All right. And yeah, 3 talkative girls. Milana is starting to talk like crazy. And so if you saw it, sorry, we're trying to figure this out. All right. Yes. Social media. My mother-in-law posted a video of Milana talking and going crazy. So yes, please pray for me. She's going to be just as talkative as the other 2. And so I just want to talk about this idea in my heart. God's really been speaking to this. It's completely off topic, but since we've been thrown some curveballs and a couple lemons, we're going to roll with it. And God's been really teaching me what it means to speak into someone else's life and what that looks like. And so I was mentoring a guy, and we were at Stone Brew, and some of you guys know Dirk Bach, and he walked up and he was like, man, this is awesome. He's like, this is what it's about. You know, he's like talking about the mentorship process. And then Dirk just turned to the high school student and was just like, hey, you need to make sure that you are getting mentored, which he pointed to me. He's like, by Tyler. And then at the same time, you need to reach back and mentor someone else. And that's really kind of the whole concept of this. You know, you've heard it said here before, climbing partners, finding someone to do that with. And God's been really placing that heavy on my heart that, you know, we talk about it a lot, but are you actually doing that? You know, we talk about being love and love your neighbor. And, you know, in the church, we talk about sharing your faith and doing all these things, but like, are you actually doing that? You know, are you actually talking to people? Are you actually sharing your faith? Are you actually mentoring people? And so God's provided several students in my life that are really trying to take their faith to the next level, take their relationship with Jesus to the next level. And actually, one of the students is preaching tomorrow night at Morningside Youth. So if you don't follow us on Facebook, Morningside_Youth, and we live stream our Wednesday night services, he's going to be preaching. And that's like a win for a youth pastor to be able to have someone, you know, a student feel confident and step out with some boldness to get out there. And so we're excited for that. Yeah, Alicia says talk about working through failure. I understand, but Dad, this is Dad's topic, and then I was just gonna ask him questions. So I don't know what fighting like a ninja is. I mean, I could do some karate, but we'll wait until he gets back. I mean, I could bring you on, Alicia, because you're upstairs. You know what I'm saying? I could send you the link. You could hop on. Talk about working through failure. I get it. I'm saying the failed Wi-Fi. I get it. Talking about fighting through failure in the confines of a ninja, and then the Wi-Fi goes out. Exactly. I got you. Any of the questions you got? I mean, I really am at a loss for what to cover, because he had all the points on what it means to fight like a ninja. So we're here. Ask away. Live Q&A. You wanna get brought on the podcast? You know what I'm saying? Give me a little wave. I'll bring you on. We can talk. Oh.
All right. Can you hear me?
You back?
Hopefully. Can you actually hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just straight on the laptop. We have been doing telehealth there for weeks. I did telehealth there today. 0 issues.
Does mom have the stream on, or the face, or the live on?
Oh yeah. She was just bringing cables down for me and stuff, so she went back upstairs now.
All right. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of, Alicia said, speaking of working through failure.
So this is, back to see, you don't need any equipment, bro.
Hold on, look at this. Look at this. This is what cameraman Nate says. You got 5 more minutes and I'm out. Really?
Okay.
Go watch the ADHD podcast, bruh.
Yeah.
Lauren's
kept
here.
rebooting me.
All right. So
what up, Lauren? Okay.
Working through. I don't even know the concept, so I couldn't even go because I don't know what you're going to talk about with Ninja. So
I'm sorry. This is my baby. So let's just jump right in. Okay. So this is the deal, like how to fight like a ninja.
Well, first of all, we've troubleshot this whole concept. We've been doing Wi-Fi up there. We ran the test. The stream was awesome. As soon as we go live, the thing crashes.
Yeah. So how I look at that stuff is like, and I'm just weird, but that's a spiritual attack thing. I think some of y'all need to hear this. And I just think like you can say the universe or something like that. But listen, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities in high places. We fight against things that do not want people to succeed. You can call it witchcraft. You can call it demonic attack. You can call it whatever you want to. But I promise you, I've been having telehealth calls up there at that exact same setup. People are like, dude, I like your buffalo. Dude, I like this. And 0 issues. We practiced it. We ran through it. And literally, I
went over there and set it up.
I have all my bars. Stacy came up there. We were on there an hour and a half before. Nothing. So anyways, it is what it is. So here we are. This is the deal.
Tell us, how do we fight like a ninja?
How to fight like a ninja. So the first thing I want to tell you is, if you take a look at ninjas, so some of the research sucks about ninjas / samurais. So either one of those, whichever one you like the better, just put that dude in your mind, put that woman in your mind. And here's the idea. They fight through stealth, and how to fight through failure stealth wise. And this is the number one thing I want you to hear. You have to be your own trainer. You have to be like your own guru. You have to literally renew your mind through behavior. You can read book after book after book, video after video after video. I literally have bought a new truck, literally with my coaches. Like, that's how much cash I've dropped. Like, and I continue to put information inside like my mind, and that's leveling up my mind. But it doesn't actually show up until I start utilizing it. So you can have information for decades, but if you don't know how to apply that, you're the same dude. You just talk at bus stops. You just talk at coffee shops. You're always bragging about what you're going to do. Listen, a ninja will come in and come out, and you have no idea what the freak happened. So you're like, I think it was my cat.
You spent the money on coaches, the equivalent of a truck.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I took that cash, I could go buy any brand new truck on your lot.
You've invested $50,000 to $60,000 in coaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so all that information, I can show you all the information. I can show you the stacks, the paperwork. I can show you all the assignments. So here's my point. Like, I'm not out blasting like, hey, I'm putting this much money in my mind. I'm not out blasting, hey, doing this and doing that. Like, this is the whole point. I want you to learn how to fight as a ninja. So you're stealth. Now, what's really crazy is I want you to be able to ask this question to yourself. When you fail, what resources are you looking for? So you hit the wall, you hit a setback. What resources are you looking for? You're instantaneously saying, well, I can't do it because I didn't play college football. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have a PhD. Well, I can't do it because, I got 3 girls. I mean, there's a small argument there, like lack of testosterone and stuff like that. But like, bro, I know a guy, I can hook you up, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Struggle is real.
So, okay, here's my point. When we all fall down, we all ask the question, oh, what is it? Okay, I'll give you a thing. I failed in a half marathon, and I literally collapsed because I didn't stop running. I just felt like my contacts were whatever, but basically I was dehydrated and I collapsed. And all I could think about is like, man, I didn't prepare. I didn't have enough water. If I'd had a Camelback, if I'd had this, and everybody else is like, bro, you're just straight stupid. Like your eyes were all dizzy. You were seeing double and you kept running. And sometimes I think I'm really resilient and I'm really strong, but sometimes that stubbornness is stupid. So right away, I start looking at excuses, which was I should have had more water. I should have, instead of just like writing down everything. I did this later. So sometimes I mess up too. So I wrote down all the things that I did right, all the things I did right, all the things I did right. And then I was like, okay, so I just need to fix the water. And then everything stops. But the second you say I should have, I could have, I needed to, you have all these things that keep showing up. And all you're doing is you're building a list of things I didn't have. Like, man, I don't have cartilage. And this is a true story. Like my left knee's like wrecked. So I don't have a lot of cartilage in my left knee. So it's clicking and clicking and clicking. And so I could have said, well, if I could have stopped and started running again without so much pain, I wouldn't have had to just kept going. It's like a train that's moving. You stop and start. That's hard. Just keep rolling. Okay. So the first thing people do is like, when you mess up, you instantly start looking for excuses. You instantly start looking for how come I couldn't do it. You instantly start saying, hey, if I just had this, if I just had that, if I would have, could have, should have. And then that leads you in this huge list of overwhelm. And then you just sit there. So now you're in this mode of like, what do I need? What do I need? Let me just tell you something. Everything you have that's in you, Jesus already put it in you. The tools are right there. So I need you to start looking at, what do I have? Okay. So here's your number one resource. So my dude, Bruce Lee. This is how nerd out I am. We went to Seattle way back in the day to see Stacy's Grandpa Ray. And I literally took, back then there was no Uber. So I took a cab to Bruce Lee's grave. And I ain't gonna tell you.
We all did. We all had to.
I got allergies, so sometimes my allergies mess up, especially around like flowers, just bumblebees and stuff.
But
as a little kid, not having a good father figure, like Bruce Lee was my dog. Like, so, I mean, I had to go see him and see his grave and just put my hand on the grave and just, it was weird. It was really weird, just a weird thing. But that's what I did. But here's Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee says, you have to become like water. Okay. You're given a teapot, you become the teapot, right? You're given a bowl, you become the bowl. You're given a pitcher, you become the pitcher. You're given a small coffee mug, you become the coffee mug. So then he says at the end of his speech, he says, be like water, my friends. Be like water. Water takes the path of least resistance because it saves the most amount of energy. So yes, we laugh about that, like, oh, take the hard route. Bro, look, if I can do 15 reps a day for a year and still hit my goal, why do I have to take the hard route? Do you hear me? Yeah. I don't have to go freaking pull chains. I don't have to put some truck tire on my back. I don't have to like climb a wall to show you like I got spidey senses. I don't have to do it your way. I'm not you. I'm not you. If I have a coffee mug and I've got to fill up a bathtub, bro, that's what I'm going to do. You have a pitcher. You still have to fill up the same bathtub. So you can say like, oh, I did it in 22 trips. Like, I ain't worried about your 22. I'm just worried about filling the bathtub. See, once you lose your objective and you forget what you're trying to do, fill up the bathtub with a coffee mug, then you're going to be like, oh, my back hurts and oh, my arm hurts. And I saw Tyler post this picture. He did it in 22 trips. Like, I must be doing something wrong. No, dude, he's a pitcher. You're a coffee mug. Get over yourself. It's in you. Stop crying about the work and just show up. I promise you. Listen, be like water. So the number one thing I want you to know is be like water. What does that mean? Okay, so you don't have a truck and you shoot a deer because you're a bow hunter. Well, you could be like my dog, me and Randy, and we took out 2 rows of seats in the van and throw down a couple of tarps and we put some deer in the van. Hey, be like water. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing, like fight like a ninja. What it means is use some stealth. Now, here's the idea. Be like water. That's your number one component, right? The number one thing I want you to focus on. The next thing I want you to think about is when we look up the word ninja, ninjutsu is like you can actually get a black belt in ninjutsu. Like you can be a black belt in taekwondo. That's a true story. My cousin Raul, he's down in Mexico. He's my dog. Like that dude can do flip tricks with knives and swords and light stuff on fire. He can run and do aerials and backflips. And y'all have seen the videos where like, you know, people punch the punching bag and you see how much, you know, power you can have. He did like some flip trick, double spin kick, you know, got that thing up to 950 or something with his leg. So that's how dope he is. But he is a black belt in ninjutsu. Okay. The number one thing that they talk about using is unconditional warfare. Unconditional warfare. Look, if your job is to buy a pickup truck, but you got a job and you're barely holding down the house and the kids and everything else, like, congratulations, you're doing what you need to do. But now you got to figure out a side hustle to buy yourself a pickup, and that's going to look unconditional. Unconventional. I'm sorry, I didn't mean unconditional. Unconventional. Your job is going to be unconventional. You're going to do it a way that maybe nobody else can do it. What is your task? What is your skill? Look, I know my buddy's mom does calligraphy back in the day, and her side hustle was calligraphy. She did calligraphy and she had a home office and she did these business cards and she did these wedding cards and she was always kind of grinding in this little office writing, but her writing was gorgeous. Like that's unconventional. Not everybody can write like that, but that's her side hustle, right? It's like you could have a taco truck. Like what is your side hustle? What are you trying to work on? You can go get it unconventionally. So the unconventional warfare is it might not look like everybody else. Stop worrying about like, hey, I have this goal, but like I don't look like those girls. Hey, I got this goal, but I don't have no seed money from my dad. Hey, I got this goal, but I don't have a degree. Like none of that's going to stop anybody except you because you let it. So this whole fight like a ninja thing, I promise you, it's going to free up your mind. It's going to free you. The crazy thing about me is like, I just don't quit and I'm stubborn. So what I just kind of fell into this stuff, like just maybe the Lord has been directing me the whole way and I just kind of been blind about it. But I'm just like, when I fail, I get more mad. And I fail again, I get more mad. I fail again, I get more mad. And then at some point, just out of pure frustration, I'll start writing stuff down and I'll start asking myself a question like, what am I missing? What am I missing? And I look back at all the tools that works, everything that works, and I start building a cool piece. And I'm like, okay. And then I make a system of discipline. Like, here's what I know. A, B, C, these things are working. These other two things, I don't know if it's dead weight. I don't know if I don't need it. Let's just push it out of the way and let's go back to the drawing board on what works. Look, we all talk about this who like football. If you make halftime adjustments, you're going to win the Super Bowl. And that's what happened. The Rams made halftime adjustments. Cincinnati went with what worked, and they got beat. So here's the idea. You have to learn how to make some adjustments. You have to learn how to make some discipline steps. Now, this is interesting to me. Okay.
Hold on, pause. Pause. Bridget needs some mom examples.
Need a what?
I need a mom example. So not kung fu fighting. What would that look like to be like water from a mom?
Okay, so like let's say Bridget's mom is like
no, I think she's talking about her being the mom.
Right. So watch. So Bridget's mom is like a Shirley Temple kind of lady, or she's like a Mary Poppins kind of lady. Like she never gets her feathers ruffled. And Bridget grows up and sees a mom like that. So Bridget's trying to be nice. 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 She's wasting so much mental energy on trying to be her mom that she can't actually parent. Okay. So the unconventional ninja move is like, well, I can't do it that way. What's another way? And you want to say, well, I'm just going to take off my shoe and just smack my kid upside the head. Well, no, that's what you're trying to avoid. And that's what your mom laid down for you. That's the generational legacy that your mom laid down. Okay. But you don't have to do it like your mom, but you can get the same result as your mom. So you start to figure out, what do I need to do so I'm not all like, level 9 out of 10 before my kids get home from school. Right. Or maybe that's you in the morning. So you have to figure out, and this is where people just don't want to do the work. So you might have to wake up 30 minutes early. You might have to do some stretching. You might have to eat breakfast. You might have to put a cup of coffee in. You might have to go walk the dog. And then you come back and you get the kids up and they're all just butt cracks, like, because that's what kids do. Just wake up and they're still sleeping in the same underwear. And you're like, bro, I thought you showered. Like, I did. Like, let me smell your breath. You didn't even brush your teeth. I swear. Like, no. So then you're all mad. Like, you don't have to be your mom. You don't have to do the unconventional, or you don't have to do it the way your mom did it. You can be unconventional. You can actually make something happen. But here's the problem. We don't do our own work. So, okay, Bridget, you asked the question, so I'm just going to say this. So let's say Bridget's issue is she needs coffee, but she rolls out of bed 5 minutes early before the kids get up, where her coffee takes 15 minutes to make. So now she knows she's already in the hole energy-wise because she's wasting too much energy because she's frustrated.
Kids without coffee is tough. That's a tough one.
I just threw that out there. I don't even know if that's Bridget or not. But and listen, Bridget, I appreciate your question. Like, look, I want this community to be able to be real and grow and not be afraid of saying, hey, I did this, right?
I mean, when along the same lines, we get asked, just because we have a lot of younger couples that we talk to, they always ask us, like, what's your piece of advice for new parents? And my piece of advice I give every new parent is take everything that anyone's ever told you and throw it out the window and do what works. So if they say, oh, you're supposed to burp this way and that way, but your baby burps in some way that you hold it, then burp the baby that way. And obviously there's some certain things, with like temperature of bottles and how to bathe, but I'm saying, like, how to hold and rock in patterns and stuff. Like, some of those things, it's unconventional, but if it works for you and your family and you and your spouse, like, who changes all the diapers and how does it work, even though she's breastfeeding, all those things, those are all suggestions. And if they don't work for you, then yeah, I love that. Find an unconventional way to do it.
Correct. So we all talk about ugly wins, right? So like in baseball, nobody likes to do it, but it's called small ball. You have just this outstanding all-world pitcher. Everybody's going to bunt because no one can hit the dude, right? Or think about softball. This girl struck out 10 straight. Right?
Yeah, but we don't do that, though, because that's boring.
It's boring. It stinks. But guess what? Are you more interested in the W, or are you more interested in, like, home runs?
I mean, to be honest, majority of people are more interested in hitting home runs.
Correct. But listen, the Baltimore Ravens won a Super Bowl with defense. Right? Ray Lewis and the defense, they held it down, and it was boring football because it was like 3-6.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're Super Bowl champions, and they forever go the history of the world with this legacy with the ring.
Yeah, but how many out of all the Super Bowl championships and teams, how many have actually done it that way? That's hard to do.
Not very many. The reason is because you have to be better at shutting down your opponent than you are at putting the ball in the end zone.
I'm just saying that concept is boring.
It is boring. It is. Everybody,
and it's long and tiring.
It's not tiring. It's still 60 minutes.
But I want to be the dude who hit the grand slam, not sacrifice bunted a guy to second, and then the person who batted behind me sacrificed bunted him to third, and then it got a little base bloop to score. That's boring. I don't go in the newspaper with that. I don't get the ESPN da-na-na.
Okay, let me ask you this: how many people have?
I'm not saying me personally. I'm just saying in general.
How many? No, but listen, this is because it's a very valid point, and this is exactly what I'm trying to tell people.
I'm not the only one who probably thinks that.
You're not. How many people have won a Super Bowl? How many people got a Super Bowl ring? This is just college football, but how many people got a Super Bowl ring based on their kicker? Offense, all their stars, multi-millionaires, like billionaires sitting on the sideline. Some dude nobody ever heard of. Some dude with the football card that everybody trades in a pack, right? Like, hey, I'll give you 7 of these dudes for that one cat right there, right? How many people have won a Super Bowl by a kicker? I wonder. I don't know. I don't know that. Somebody look it up. But here's my point. If you saw that dude anywhere, obviously. But if you saw that dude anywhere and you're like, bro, how come you don't have your ring? You think he's going to say, nah, man, I ain't taking that junk because we won by a kicker and I wanted to score the winning TD. No, that dude went to Disney World. That dude celebrated with his kids. That dude has a trophy room. That dude is still bragging on a podcast about his ring, kissing his ring, acting like he's all that. Like, because it's a legacy, right? Here's what I'm trying to tell people. Because of our eyes, because of Instagram, because of YouTube, because of all these things, we all have a certain idea about how I'm supposed to win. And when my goals don't look like that, when my effort looks like it sucks, and I'm rebooting and restarting and rebooting and restarting, at some point I go, dude, I just don't have what it takes. So I knock me down. Or I go, no, I don't look like Tyler. So maybe I'm not Tyler. Maybe I can't do this. So then what do? We quit.
I mean, you fall into a comparison trap at that point.
Yes. So this is what I'm trying to show you. So fighting like a ninja is falling back on your discipline skills.
Okay.
Falling back on your discipline skills. So number 1 was be like water, right?
Number
Use
2,
what you got.
be
right?
unconventional.
Number 2 is be unconventional. Do it a different way. Like you could have
Give
an
us-
ugly win.
Give us number
now,
3.
Okay, so number 3 is discipline wins. Discipline wins. Now, if you Google this, because I nerd out with this kind of stuff, it's kind of funny to me, but ninjas and samurais, they got like a bunch of cool names and stuff like that, but they developed this thing called fighting art skills. So fighting is an art. So there's not just like, I'm just going to beat up Tyler. I want to beat up Tyler to make it look good. Like I want to beat up Tyler, but nobody knows I showed up. I want to beat up Tyler, but there's no evidence, like that kind of stuff. It's high level stuff. But they share 18 disciplines. That's right, 18. They have 18 fighting styles, 18 discipline techniques. They apply them a little bit differently because, you know, ninjas use like stars and whatever, and samurais can use some swords. So I get you're like, oh, bro, how does this even fit me? But let me tell you something. Out of 18 of those, 7 of them are stealth. You don't see them coming. You don't hear them. Here's my point. If 18 people want some award that you want, 7 of them did it, and you didn't even know they did it. Until you say, bro, you run a marathon? I had no idea. It's like, yeah. And they pull up a couple of pictures, show you a video. Yeah, I ran the Boston Marathon. Like, bro, I had no idea. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I want you to see is I got dyslexia. So a lot of my national tests, like long tests, I had to take 2 or 3 times. I didn't pass some of that stuff on my first try. The stuff I passed on my first try going to get my PhD were orals. Like I can talk. And I can organize my thoughts if I practice it. You know, if I can just start talking, I can talk my way through it. But if you put me in front of a 6-hour, 9-hour test, I ain't passing that test the first time probably. Yeah. Right. Toward the end of my career, I did, but just I failed a lot of first tries. So for ADHD people, for dyslexia people, they have first trial failure a lot. Their first trials are like 20%, whereas most people, they get like 48% on their first try. So you try to show them a curveball, they're in their 20s. You try to teach them how to ride a bike, they're in their 20s. So instantly they're ahead of they're way behind the 8 ball and they start to complain. But if you do it quietly and you don't try to post their first few times, and all these people, think about it, all these young bucks, they will have all their workout gear on and they're like, bruh, you know, about to kill this workout, right? And then everybody else just says, oh, bro, I already know you're trying to kill that breakfast pizza. And everybody starts just ragging on that guy and that dude. And then you know that dude isn't showing up. Now he doesn't even post a post-workout. You know why? Because he never got there. Like so many people brag about what they're about to do that they give everybody else a chance to knock them down before they get there.
Yep.
And then that ruins their self-talk. So now I'm like, well, I suck. I mean, I got to stop trying to fake this. No, dude, just shut your mouth and start climbing. Put your head down, do the work. Like work on being stealth. Because if you start to be stealth, what happens is you get so far ahead, then people say, bro, have you been working out? Dude, did you get a new haircut? Bro, love the beard. Like, you right? And then they start to ask you questions like, how'd you do it? Like, dude, I didn't know you had a mentoring program. Bro, I didn't know you had, you know, this cell group at your house with young couples. Tell me about it. People are way more interested because they uncovered something. And they motivate you because once they uncover something like, bro, tell me some more. Bro, this is really important to me. Like, I want to know how'd you do it. It's like you just put a post out like, hey, I'm going to run young mentors. Like, what'd you do? I want to help the young fathers. Like, explain it to me. And so you start asking them questions. And then when they leave, they hug you. And they're like, bro, keep going. Like, this dude, man, you inspired me. I'm inspired now because of you. Now that fuels our self-talk. Because the second you say, here's what I'm doing, I might get jealous and be like, no, you're not. Or I could have been failing doing the exact same thing. So I'm going to give you a list of my failures. Do you understand? So yep. This last piece is master your discipline. So people ask me all the time, like, why do I have to work out in the morning? I'm like, you don't. Why do I have to study the Bible in the morning? You don't. That's what I do because it puts me in a different mindset for the rest of the day.
Sure.
That's on me. But Stacy, like, you know, mom wakes up and she gets the house going, gets everybody off, like, you know, does breakfast, gets Valencia off, whatever, you know, then she circles back and does her workout and devotion. But I've never tried to make her be me. She's never tried to make me be her. We've got our own little disciplines. Now at nighttime, we pray together. That's our joint time. That's different. Okay. So you got them? Go ahead and repeat the 3. What are the 3 things?
Well, here, let's go back to this comment here quick. It says it's more important to see yourself through your wins, regardless of how anyone else may perceive them. It's not about fitting into a perception society puts on us. That's what you're talking about. Those little wins, Just
100%.
that those
100%.
disciplines, the things that you've set out to do. The
Yes.
tough part about that is though, is we also talk about,
Good job, Christine.
we also though at the same time have another concept that's, like a high challenge, goal setting or whatever we call, what do you
Yeah.
call it?
High challenge.
Yeah, high challenge goals,
Yeah.
where you do need to tell some people about it, and that way they can hold you accountable. So it's just a fine line between letting some people know, hey, this is what I'm starting to do, and because I've set goals that I haven't told anyone about, and then when I just fail them, no one asked me about them. So there's got to be some people in your life that you do trust and that you are letting know, hey, I am going to try to accomplish this, and hold me accountable.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's just different than sharing it to the whole world, though. Lauren says, something I've noticed is when I start to become good at the jobs or tasks I hate, growth and success soon follows.
Yeah. So, and there's a book by Brian Tracy that he calls Eat That Frog, where he says, do the hardest thing first every day, because once you knock that down, you have momentum for the easier things. And so that's the 80-20 rule. So 20% of the people are like that. 80% of the people do all the easy stuff first, and they keep punting the hard thing for the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. And they don't grow confidence as well as the dude who just got one hard thing done.
It's like when you sit down, you should eat your vegetables first because they're the worst.
Yeah. Or Brussels sprouts. Or
all right, so we got
sweet potato.
I like Brussels sprouts. Number 1, be like water. Number 2, be unconventional. Well, I eat healthy. I just eat too much of what I'm eating.
No, I was just saying Brussels sprouts, bro. Like,
oh, what? I will smash Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. You guys have that way that you at least cook them. Will you do?
Yeah, you cut them in half, season them, olive oil, and bake them. Oh, what? The girls even eat them.
You put like something on them. It tastes good.
Yeah, garlic salt.
Okay.
Be like water. Number 1. Number 2, be unconventional. Number 3, discipline wins. How many we got? 5 or 4?
Okay, so that's those 3. Okay, and
all
then
right.
I have, so that's like how to fight, right? Those are on how to fight. 3 things on how to fight. Okay. Now there's 3 things on three. So there's 3 mistakes and then 3 wins on why stealth matters to me. Like, what's the importance of stealth? Why stealth? Like, why is that such a big deal to me?
We got to move through these ones quick.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Okay. So, the number one, was the 3 mistakes. So number 1 is telling people what you're about to do before you do it. Right. Okay. And the reason why that one is hard, because everybody steals your objective. So in the military, people have an objective, right? Let's say your airplane gets shot down. So on our way to go capture some prisoners, our airplane gets cracked down. So that loses the objective. So instead of us being focused and like a laser bullet with a team of 7 people, now we're all fighting to stay alive. So our objective changes. So
what was it again? Say it again.
So your objective changes.
No, I'm saying the telling people what you are about to do before you do it.
Yeah, telling people what you're about to do before you do it. That's the number 1 mistakes. Okay, and the reason is because they kill your objective. Okay. So your stealth move is to climb in silence. So if you're working on your goal in silence, nobody can knock you down. Okay. And then that's when you build your list of like what's working. Okay. Mistake number 2, when people hit the wall, they hit a plateau or they fail, they preach to the choir. So they're going to call people. Let's pretend I don't know, whatever it is. Like, okay, so on my book. Okay. So I've been, working on a book. Actually, it's in print and it's coming. So that's pretty cool. One of them, but I got several of them coming. But here's the idea. Like, let's say I talk to Tyler, who's tried to write a book a couple times and he gets stuck. So I call Tyler, like, bro, this book thing is killing me, dude. Like, oh man, like, and Tyler's like, yeah, I know, bro. So like, so where are you at? And he says, yeah, I fired my producer, dude. I fired this guy or whatever. He's like, so I'm going to take a break. So I'm like, you know what? That sounds really good. So I'm going to take a break. So instead of preaching to the choir, I need to either 1, be quiet, go back to my notes and find what's working, or 2, I call somebody who's won. I call a master. I call a dude who's written a book. And I'm like, hey, I know you're a busy dude, but can I just shoot you 2 questions? Can I just get your email, shoot you 2 questions? Right. Or somebody else that I talk to, or someone who's like a coach, and be like, hey, how much is it for 1 consultation, and just pay for 1 session? Anybody who can have an objective viewpoint of where you get stuck is going to help you break through some way. They just will. It doesn't have to be a professional coach. Anybody who just thinks different than you, if they've been there before, they've beat a book or they've won a marathon or something, they'll help you. Okay. You don't want someone to be like, bro, I feel your pain. I'm with you, bro. What'd you do? I updated my PS4. You should too. Let's game up. Let's get it going. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah, but the problem is that once again, that's not popular. I mean, we all know the saying, misery loves company. So
Right.
when I'm sulking, I want someone to say, yeah, you're right. You made the right decision. It was snowy out, or yeah, oh, you do work a ton of time, so you don't have time to do that or fit that in, or so that's not a normal thought process when I fail to say, yeah, let me call someone that's better or that's been there before. That'll tell me probably something I don't want to hear, or
Yes.
give me constructive criticism, or give me that kick to the butt. I want to call someone that'll be like, oh, dude, I agree.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's easy because like I feel bad for failing or I feel bad for hitting a wall, and technically it's not even failing. It's just like it's a setback. We always call it failure. Like I failed, right? So like I failed is like I got one chance to do something ever in the history of the world, and I fail that once. Okay, that's failure. Like I never get another shot, right? But other than that, like me trying to lose weight, me trying to write a book, me trying to learn a backflip, me trying to learn how to juggle, me trying to go, eat some vegetables. Like it doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter. The idea, as long as I don't quit, I'll get there. As long as I have 18 disciplines that I'm going to be bouncing back and forth through, I'm going to make it. Right.
Yep.
So that's that one. Okay. So, and then the answer to that one is seek masters, right? Only seek masters. Seek somebody who we would consider a coach. And listen, again, a coach doesn't have to have a doctorate or a PhD or a master's degree. A coach just has to be one step ahead of you. Do you hear me? A coach just has to have one step ahead of you. So if I'm trying to run a 10K, but somebody's already ran a 10K, I've only ran a few 5Ks. Okay, that person's my coach. He's already beat a 10K.
Yeah, that's a Craig Gershell leadership point, that you don't have to, if you're a 1 out of scale of 1 to 10, all you need to look up to is a 2. And if you're a 3, all you need to look up to is a 4. Or if you're a 5, you should a 6 or 7. We all want to look up from a 1 to a 10. And a lot of 10s don't have time to reach down to a 1. But a lot of 2s could reach down to a 1, and a lot of 3s could reach to a 2. The jump from a 4 to a 10 is hard. I mean, that's a lot of time in, a lot of effort. Most people that are successful at 9, 8, 9, 10, and whatever that is, most of the time don't reach down to a first time beginner. They want to know that you got some traction. So if you're a 2, reach up to a 3.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Keep going.
So the 3 mistakes. Mistake number 1, telling people about my plans before I launch. Mistake number 2, preaching to the choir about my setbacks, and they talk me into quitting. Okay. And then mistake number 3 is broadcasting my negative self-talk. So these are the people who post like, bro, I'm such a loser. I suck at this. Like, I don't deserve to win. Maybe my boss should fire me. Maybe I deserve to be poor. Maybe I deserve to be jobless. Maybe I deserve to be single my whole life. Like they broadcast their negative self-talk out there. And then what happens is that literally parts the Red Sea. So 50% of the people are going to see it and be like, their toxicity alert's going to be like, wah, 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 I'm not touching it. And so they scroll on like they didn't even see it. They're not going to even let you know. They're not going to watch your reel. They just like instantly like, nah, that puts them off. Then you're going to attract the other 50%. And those other 50% are the helpers, because they have goals that they haven't accomplished in their life. But I can put off my goal if I can just be like, Ty, I'm here for you, bro. I got your back, bro. Like I can help you. And then I go meet Tyler for coffee, which lets me procrastinate. And then I say to Tyler, bro, let me help you. I've been thinking about this. I got 7 steps for you. And then Tyler looks at it and just like, I thought we was coming for coffee. It was like, yeah, but I hit you up because you was complaining and saying all this stuff, but I got a plan for you. And plus I know a guy, and I got all this for you. And all of a sudden I become a coach. And I was like, no, I didn't ask for coaching. And then I'm like, see, that's what the last thing I try to do to help you. I'm always trying to help you. Like, look at what you're doing. Just stab me in the back. I'm here for you. And it just becomes this nasty old mess. And I tell people all the time, I am not in the business of parenting an adult. I'm not in the business of parenting an adult, because my whole family's like that. Our whole generation's like that. We all want to jump in and be a fixer. And then none of us actually fix ourselves. So that is a huge one. So do not broadcast at all your negative self-talk. And so if you go back to one of our podcast talks on here, we have a podcast talk about ants, automatic negative thoughts. That's not my concept. That's Dr. Amen, but it's really cool. Automatic negative thoughts, ANTS. So that's ants. Go back and listen to that, because when you start to have your negative self-talk, you can defeat that in your head, especially if you write it down and ask yourself a question. What ant is that? Identify the ant, go read about the ant, how to fix it. You start to tell your mind a different thing, and boom, we're back in the game. Okay? Do not start World War III by trying to fix somebody who hasn't asked for help to be fixed. Let somebody complain, let them vent, let them just poop out, whatever, just stay away, and then circle back and ask you a question.
Okay.
Crickets on that one, huh?
I like that. No, I like it. I just put the Ants YouTube link in the comments, so that's why I was.
You did it that fast? Let's go.
Always. Couple comments.
Got some skills.
Discipline comes in when we choose who we reach out to. I think that's huge too.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you choose? Who you talk to? Who you reach out to?
Yes.
Who do you let in?
And let's piggyback that a second. So let's say Tyler, you're my guru. I think so. I'm gonna message you like, hey, you got a couple.
Yeah, but see, when we say guru though, that makes me feel like I have to have an expert though.
No. Guru is just the dude who's ahead of me. If I'm up here blasting like I'm the guru, yeah, then that might be different.
Yeah.
But like again, a coach, like, hey, so I'm gonna start a podcast, Ty. You got
someone that is where I want to go.
Yeah. So I call you and just so here's the thing. So if I reach out to you, it's okay to say, hey, I'm gonna just vent for a minute because I want to tell you about where my problem is, where I'm stuck. If you identify like that, that's okay because you prep it like it's coming. Like, hey, I'm gonna talk to you about where I'm stuck. Okay, go. Then I talk to you about where I'm stuck, and then really quickly, I'm gonna say, okay, so here's the solutions I've been trying to work on, and unfortunately, all 3 solutions fail. So like, can you help me troubleshoot it? And now Tyler has 3 things that he knows I tried, and he knows my stuck point. So those 4 pieces of data now can help Tyler unlock me. And he's like, hey, run with that. And let's talk back in a few weeks. Like, all right, bro, appreciate you. See how quick that is? That's way different than me just saying I suck and nobody likes me and like blah, 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 blah. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. The very last thing I want you to focus on this is broadcast your successful steps. And this again piggybacks exactly what Christine was just saying. Broadcast your successful steps, but the question is where? Okay. So like, on a podcast, you could do it here because people kind of know your language, to a group of friends, to a Bible study, to a mentor group. Okay. Like, hey, just so you all know, your girl killing it. I did this and I did this. They're not going to say, shut up, you're bragging. They're not going to say, oh, get your junk out of here. Like, must be nice. Like, they'll be like, oh, that's really cool. I know you've been working on that for a long time. See, if people know your work, they know your pain, they'll celebrate you. If you just come out of nowhere and say, hey, I did this, then they're gonna be like, okay, why are you telling me? So you could broadcast that into a small group, okay? Especially from like, let's say I go back to Tyler and I was like, hey, bro, guess what I did? Like I launched my podcast. Okay, so that's really cool. The other place you could do it, you broadcast it in a journal. Like you should have a page that says wins or success or something. So you have to categorize your wins. If you're only looking at your losses, it's very difficult to be up and have energy because that kind of drains you. You look at your losses only to find a new path, and then you only take a look at your wins. And the reason you want to log your wins, people call it your highlight reel or whatever, but it's to give you momentum. Like, dude, I beat that. Like I can beat this, I think.
Yeah, and you can go back and look at it and kind of rejuvenate, re-energize.
Yes.
Encourage you.
Yeah. So it's like when you watch film, you don't always look at your mistakes. You look at the dude, you ran over this dude, you hurdled that dude. Like, So you take a look at those things too. But I want you to also be able to broadcast that. And then the last piece you broadcast that to people who are in your circle. So like if I'm in a running circle or I'm in a book writing club, anything like that, that's when you say, hey, I have a thing I want to talk about. Like you all know my pain here and here's what I did. Okay. So we want to focus on what's working. That's why you want to take a look at those pieces, because going back to our unconventional moves, I look back at what works for me. And if I can hang on to what works for me, I build my stealth moves, my 18 moves that are going to help me be successful.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. Yep. I Yep. I put all those in the comments. They'll be there. I just came with I'll put it up on the screen here.
Okay.
Oh, it broke into two pieces. Oh, here you go.
Okay.
2 Timothy 4 verse 3 says, "For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear." That's talking about in the times we're in now. People will look to biblical truth and say that doesn't really fit with what I want to hear, want to listen to. So they go out and find what a different reality of truth that has been false doctrine and teaching and taking scripture out of context. And I think that also applies to everything we just talked about. So when we fail, that misery loves company idea, I think that same thing can apply. I know it wasn't written to that context, but I think the principle it applies as well, is that we go out and it says gather a number of people, teachers, a group, a community that will say what we want to hear. I mean, it's kind of like when you I was thinking about this today. It's kind of like when someone says, dude, this movie was so boring, and then you watch it, the whole entire time you're already looking at through that lens of so boring, or oh, the ending's the worst ending in the history of movies. Then the ending happens, it's like you're already slanted to see that. And I think that's what we do all the time. We fail, and so it already slants us to see a certain way. And then we find people that, I mean, you can find anything that you want to find in today's society. So you want to find people that say it's okay to do whatever you want to do, or live in failure, or use your excuses to continue down the path you're on. I think you'll gather people around you in that same way.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. And to your point earlier, you said, hey, there's a difference between a high challenge climb and a low challenge climb. Okay. So a high challenge climb is a group of people who all go in together. So like sometimes offices will have like that Biggest Loser thing, right? Okay, so a high challenge climb is like, hey, Ty, you put in your $100, and you're like, for what? Like, oh, they got this thing at the office, and then so everybody puts in $100. We all know that we're doing it together. That's a high challenge climb. I'm stepping out with a bunch of people, and I'm just gonna see what happens, right? So I join a challenge. That's a high challenge. A low challenge is like, I'm back home, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, no way, I'm letting the office know I'm doing this. So I don't ante up my $100. And I kind of go half in. So then what happens is it can guarantee failure, because nobody knows that I put half foot in. So if I hop out, no one knows that I actually tried and failed. So that's different than what we're talking about as a stealth climb. A stealth climb is, I've talked to Tyler. Hey, he's gave me a few pointers on launching a podcast. I've set a goal for 6 weeks. I'm not telling anybody. I'm actually attacking the process to knock out these 6 weeks. I'm gonna come back to Ty in 6 weeks and say, bro, here's where I'm at. That is the stealth climb. It's a silent climb. That's completely different than the low challenge. The low challenge is like, I'm going to secretly try, and I'm going to give 50% effort. Well, you're going to guarantee failure then.
Right.
Does that make sense? Do you see the two differences?
Oh yeah, I think, and I think people, I know for me, I like to do the low challenge because I've tried so many times in certain areas that I don't want people to be like, oh, well, you said this before, or oh, here goes Tyler with this, or you did this last time, or every January, or whatever. So to me, it's like, I'm tired of constantly telling people, oh, this is going to change, or oh, I'm going to do this differently. And so it's easier just to not do that. But the times that I have changed and it has lasted, especially with my health, it's been when I've brought certain people on to help me and hold me accountable moving forward. And that's what we're talking about here. So
yeah, that's correct.
Sweet.
So small circle of climbers. That's good.
Yep. All right. Well, if there was ever a show to have us work through failure and run through it and not from it, I think this was the show.
That's right. I had to run down here to my wife's office and carry my laptop, and Stacy's bringing cords behind me. And
we have a new tripod, a new camera. We have a new mic, an arm, a new audio. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
No, it's actually kind of funny. I think it's a spiritual attack, but I think it's funny, like fight like a ninja. So like, the whole idea to be water. So we're down here. I'm in the basement instead of the lodge and the studio that we just all got all jacked up about.
We spent 2 months to figure out and put together.
Yeah, and getting all these new speakers and headsets, everything. It's funny to me.
In 2 weeks, You'll be back in the studio that we created with Wi-Fi that works, hopefully.
Yes.
And if
hopefully.
not, we'll be back down here.
Fighting like a ninja once again.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah,
don't
all
forget,
right.
on this podcast, we teach you how to renew your perspective, move towards uncertainty, and find what's awesome about that in every situation. And never forget it. There's 2 times to be great: when you feel like it and when you don't. We love you.
That's right, baby. That's right, baby.
Peace.
I had to realize what's inside of me. For all of the people that lied to me. For all of the people that said I would fall off. Oh, but what a time to be alive. I wrote this for everyone, feel like they counted out. You need to look in the mirror and tell yourself it's time to be who I am now. Greatness.